Hey guys, welcome to Chasing Gains Radio. Today we have an amazing guest in Macr0 Mike. Macr0 Mike is a food porn creator. He creates the most amazing food porn creations in terms of the best pancake stacks you've ever seen. He's created his own food company and he's going to be telling us about what you need to do to be able to create your own food company. His transition from, being a personal trainer to going online trainer to creating his own food company. All the steps that he went through to be able to do this, obstacles that he had to overcome, his history in terms of getting into the fitness industry, his passions, how he got amazing results, and how he's got 100 people basically before he's even opened up sales to his amazing product that he's offering on a waiting list, basically craving and being so, thirsty for this product because it's so amazing, because it's so different, and he has all of that passion behind what he's actually doing and has an amazing results and amazing outcomes from that. So he goes into all the detail about that, talks about the products that he's actually launching and what he's actually looking at doing down the track with this business, because it's massively successful before it's even launched, having over 100 people basically waiting on a list to be able to get this amazing product that he's launching and in the production of doing right now. The importance of, authenticity, integrity, all of these things he talks about and is basically shown in everything that he says. So it's an amazing podcast. I know you're going to get some amazing information out of this, so be sure to check it out and watch right to the end, because there's such amazing content. If you're looking at doing flexible dieting, we talk about that in contest prep, everything around flexible dieting, the importance of that, and creating a food product, anything along these lines. If you're looking at finding out more about this stuff, this is the podcast for you. Hope you enjoy it, guys. Chasing Gains Radio, the insatiable quest for constant progression. Chasing is the act of pursuing. Gains is the result or positive outcome. Chasing Gains Radio. Here's your host, Cody McAuliffe. Hey guys, welcome to Chasing Gains Radio. Today we've got an amazing guest in Macr0 Mike. Macr0 Mike is a food blogger, he's a food porn creator and a natural physique athlete and a PT. So welcome Mike, thanks for joining us.
Hey guys, how are you? Live from the Macr0 Mike headquarters.
I love it. First of all, probably just give me a bit of background about how you got into the fitness industry and kind of how you fell into flexible dieting.
Well, it's a bit of a long story, eh? So, I guess we need to rewind to where I originally got into fitness, because being there, growing up until maybe 15, 16, I was like never into sport, never into fitness, never trained. I was like pretty overweight, pretty unhealthy, and then I got pretty bullied at school. So when I was about 15, 16, there was like an incident where I was playing football at school and we were playing against the year above, and I think like one of the kids tried to pass me the ball, and I was just terrible at football. I was always that kid that like roofed for football and always got picked last and whatnot. And I don't know, I messed up this pass, and then he kind of just shouted something at me, like something pretty mean about calling me fat and all that. And I just thought that was like, I went home and I said to my mom, I was like, look, I want to change something. I'm not happy. I'm not kind of happy with how I look. And my mom was like, oh, well, why don't you come to the gym with me? So she basically signed me up to a gym, and then for maybe like 3 or 4 months, I just basically went on the path to reducing body fat and just trying to lose weight. So that was kind of where it started.
Yeah.
I was probably weighing about 100 kilos at the time, and then just through exercise, just through cardio, just eating a little bit better, I got down to 67 kilos. So I dropped quite a significant amount of weight, but obviously I just kind of ended up with like a sort of skinnier version of what I had. Like I just kind of ended up sort of skinny fat, if that makes sense, just because I didn't really do any weight-based training. So after that, I kind of was like, look, okay, so reprioritize. I used to look at like magazines like Men's Fitness, Men's Health, and I used to look at those kind of magazines and think, look, that's exactly what I want to look like. That's kind of my goal. So then I kind of went on the path of just building muscle, getting myself into shape, and then probably got to about 18. I was spending most of my time at sixth form, like so college. I was spending most of my time at the gym as opposed to like studying, as you do, just chasing those gains.
That's it.
So I decided that, like, obviously, I just decided that I wanted to do something in the health industry, to kind of like pass on the knowledge and stuff that I'd learned to, it changed my life. Like I went from being depressed and like just feeling absolutely horrendous and unconfident to feeling like, the happiest I've ever been and just really confident in myself and my body image. Yeah. And I just wanted to kind of relate to clients and try and help them, just improve their quality of life.
Yeah.
So essentially I did like a personal training course back home in the UK. And then I set up a personal training business, ran that for essentially up until today. I still do online clients and stuff now, but essentially it was face-to-face clients back in the UK for probably nearly 5 years.
Yeah.
And that was pretty good. And then Australia, that I kind of started doing the whole if it fits your macros and all that sort of stuff and got into the flexible dieting.
Yeah.
I'd always kind of eat healthy and I always used to meal prep and always used to like do, all the kind of standard stuff that everyone does in the fitness industry. But it wasn't until I sort of like got a coach and stuff here and I sort of learned about if it fits your macros, and that's where all the food porn and stuff started. That's where all the kind of food creations, all the macro mic stuff. Essentially, the goal with what I eat is to try and recreate all the foods that I used to like and enjoy as a fat kid.
Yeah.
Like pancakes and waffles and brownies and cookies and all that kind of stuff, but make them obviously macro friendly. And also, like I had like a period in my life for about 3 or 4 years where I was dealing with like IBS and stress and all that kind of stuff, and I have like gluten and dairy intolerances. So I wanted to make all my products like allergy friendly as well.
Yeah.
And that's essentially where it all started, I guess. Long story in a shorter kind of version.
Yeah, awesome. I guess a lot of people get started in the fitness industry that way as well. And it's really interesting that you've moved more into the food creation kind of side of things, because most people just stay in that kind of personal trainer thing. It's very easy to be a personal trainer these days, and few people make that move into having a product-based business, because a lot of people don't have, like, obviously it takes some capital outlay and there's some like production things that you have to take into account. What are the kind of things that if someone was to start a food company, basically like you have, what are the things that they need to do to be able to start that process?
A lot of it for me was, I guess a lot of it was right place, right time, and just contacts that I'd met over the last couple of years. Like, for example, probably 9-10 months ago, I was like loosely involved with a nutritional company in Brisbane, kind of helping them sell some products, and they're a real good company, Temple Nutrition, just a small based nutritional company, getting pretty big now, which is awesome. But they deal in a lot of vegan stuff, a lot of gluten free, dairy free. So it was something that I was really interested in. Yeah. But just time wise, just the timing wasn't quite right. So we sort of like, we just kind of like our crossroads just were going in the wrong direction at the time. But then I'm kind of working with a company that they sort of sister company with, and they're helping me with manufacturing stuff. So I guess like essentially, just timing is really important. Obviously you need a bit of a financial, like netting, if you like. You need some money behind you to initially set it up.
Yeah.
But I think the number one thing you need is it's just passion and drive. You just have to live and breathe it. Like anybody that knows me as a person, they know that I didn't just pluck out brownies and blondies out of the air. Like I've been making brownies for like, you know, since I can remember, and the initial ones. I mean, I've got to find some of these pictures. The initial brownies that I made, they were made with sweet potato,
Yeah.
sugar-free maple syrup, and probably stevia. It was like a 3-ingredient brownie.
Yeah.
And they were horrendous. They were like the worst thing you've ever tasted in your whole life. So,
yeah.
you know, there was a big development stage.
Yeah.
I'm probably most famous for my pancake stacks.
Yeah.
When I was comp prepping, I'd do anything to fit pancakes into my macros.
Yeah.
And I'd happily spend an hour of my morning assembling the perfect stack, getting the perfect photo for Instagram.
Yeah.
This was way before, you know, I even thought of making a business out of this. This was just something that I love doing. Like I love food at the end of the day. Like, and I think that's the most important thing. If you want to start a business, you have to just have so much passion and drive, and you know, you have to realize that it's 24/7. You know, it's going to be hard work, but if you want to make it work, if you love it, then you know, you're never going to work a day in your life because you're doing something that you love. So that's essentially the best advice I can give to anyone out there.
Yeah, I totally agree. I find that most people who are the most successful in business have that they're doing something that they actually enjoy doing, and then they turn it into a business, which is exactly what you've done, and it just means that like you're on the track to be able to do it. Because if you start a business with the primary driver being money to start off with, then it just gets to a point where you can just earn money doing something else. So you drop out of doing that, even though you might actually enjoy doing it. So with the fitness industry, a lot of people get into the industry. They like the idea of being a personal trainer. They like the idea of like training people and earning money from that, but then they just don't have the passion behind it to be able to continue to do it when the going gets tough. So it's really important to, I guess, share your story for the passion that you have behind exactly what you do. In terms of
pretty, sorry to interrupt you there, bro, but it's pretty interesting you say that, because I found that with the face-to-face personal training, you know, I got to a stage probably about 4 years in, and I did just completely hit the wall, and you know, I did just lose all the passion and all the enthusiasm for it, because exactly what you said, you know, it's just like you try to keep rolling, keep giving, like, you know, all that. So for me, I just had to get like a different direction and take a little bit of time away from it.
Yeah.
And I think like I kind of transitioned into just taking on a smaller client base and just doing it online, and that got back a lot of love for obviously doing the training and obviously my own training, because when you spend 24/7 in the gym, you do lose a little bit of enthusiasm for your own training. It's quite difficult to keep that up.
Yeah, totally agree. And I find like talking to one of the trainers that I work with, he is just about to get a new gym membership because he can't get a good workout in at his own gym because he's just there all day. People come up and talk to him, and
a lot of personal trainers do that, hey?
Yeah. So like I train at like probably like 3 or 4 different gyms. Just depends on where I'm at and where I want to train for that day. But it's always good to mix up that environment as well. I guess in terms of like
gym you train at, it's called Grilled, is it?
Yeah. So we'll talk about a story about that as well. So basically, like for those of the listeners who don't know, I'm like trying to get sponsored by Grill and just doing heaps of promotion for them. Basically, that all started with me just smashing heaps of burgers there, and I was just doing it already, so I already had a passion. I enjoy the burgers. I recommended it up to other people, so it was just taking it to the next level, which is exactly what you're doing with your Macr0 business. It was something that you're already doing. You're enjoying the food. You're getting benefit out of it. Other people could get benefit out of it. So you just took it to the next level to be able to help even more people, which is just kind of the same thing of what I'm trying to do with Grill as well. So it's like something I'm passionate about already. So it's easy for me to be able to do and promote that kind of product continuously, because like I eat it all day, every day anyway. So it just makes sense to be able to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
In terms of like, I guess, product offering, what have you got in the development to be able to help people who are looking at like doing flexible dieting to be able to get them products that can hit their macros?
So there's a lot of similar products to. I mean, there's a lot of dry mixes out there. Like, there's a lot of small companies that do them. But what I found was that most of them are quite limited. Like, a lot of them, they try and hit like one particular market. So, for example, they'll just try and hit like the high protein market. So they might just market it as high protein brownies.
Yeah.
And the macros are like, they're pretty ridiculous. Like, you know, it's the ratio between protein and carbs is just pretty crazy. Like, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. So what I tried to do with my products is, you know, apart from just keeping them obviously gluten-free, dairy-free and allergy-friendly so that they're good for everybody, not just one type of person, because as soon as you put a product with whey protein in it, straight away you're just essentially cutting down your market almost, you know, by a third, I reckon, maybe even more. Like, coming into, you know, 2016, people are so much more aware of it. So I tried to keep them just balanced. So essentially they're 100 calories, which, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, 100 calories is nothing. Most protein bars are 200, 250.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could eat two, especially for you, bro. You'd probably eat a whole batch. So 100 calories was kind of my goal.
Yeah.
And I was going to make them 99 calories. I probably could, but I thought I'll just do around 100.
Yeah.
It's a good number. And then I made them, so the brownies are 10 carb and the blondies are 11 carb.
Yeah.
Just because there's more fruit and stuff in the blondies, like we use some freeze-dried strawberries and stuff like that, whereas there's a bit more cacao in the brownies. So essentially I made them like 10, 11 carb and then 6 to 7 protein and then 3 grams of fat.
Yeah.
And my reasoning behind that was just because it's nice and balanced. You know, people probably do have that kind of ratio in their actual macros.
Yeah.
Like, most people probably have, you know, like that sort of, if you scaled it up, that would fit. I mean, what's your macros that you hit roughly?
At the moment, it's like I've just increased my fat massively post-comp, so it's like 90 fat, 200 protein, and 220 carbs.
Yeah,
so,
nice. And I mean, most people would probably, that's quite conservative on the carbs, eh?
Yeah. So basically, post-comp, it just meant that I just increased like my fat dramatically. So then from now, it'll be carbs start going up as I start to reverse diet out even more.
And what would you kind of hope to be at in, say, like 3 months' time, carb-wise?
300 to 400.
Sweet. So if you kind of break that down, so if you kind of say, for argument's sake, 300 carb, 200 protein, and we'll say like, I don't know, 100 fat, just for argument's sake.
Yeah.
That kind of ratio, I'd say that's probably what 75 to 80% of people that do if it fits your macros would essentially aim for.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've got people that, you know, do lower carb, higher fat, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But if you ratio the brownies like 10, 6, 3, that's essentially what I tried to hit. So it means that even if worst case scenario you did end up eating all 12 brownies or blondies, which is quite probable because they do taste delicious.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world, you know, they're still going to fit your macros.
Yeah.
And it's good because it's a balanced product.
Yeah.
There's a lot of foods out there that skew your macros one way or the other, whereas this is just a balanced product, so it just keeps your macros pretty tight.
Yeah, awesome. So do you have just the brownie and the blondie ones? Are you going to bring out pancake ones, or do you have those in development? Or
I'm saving the pancake ones.
You save the pancake ones?
They're the signature ones. So, I mean, everybody knows that Macr0 Mike loves his pancakes. Like, it's quite a well-known fact. If you have a little glance through the Instagram, Macr0 Mike with a 0 in the middle, you'll just see stacks and stacks and stacks of pancakes. So first release, keeping it nice and simple. We've got a competition at the moment, brownies versus blondies. So that's kind of the hit that we're going for to start with. There's also going to be a range of protein sources. Awesome macros. So similar to powdered peanut butter products, stuff like that, with added protein in them. And literally, again, the cool thing about all the Macr0 Mike range is the fact that there's no eggs involved, so they're all vegan friendly. But also you just add water, so it's real simple. So all the products, you just literally add water to them, which is pretty cool. There's going to be a range of also spice mixes, all kind of the sweet variety, things like gingerbread, snickerdoodle, chocolate dreamsicle, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I can see your eyes lighting up, Cody. And then eventually, pancakes we'll bring out. We'll probably pair them up with waffles, so pancakes versus waffles. And then there'll be some different products and stuff. So, we'll aim to kind of get the products out, just see how it goes with the response. But, so far, everybody that's tasted them has just thought that they're awesome, which is super, super good. I'm super happy.
Yeah.
So, good times.
Yeah, they're definitely delicious. In terms of, I guess, like you've got this amazing product, you've got a great following. If someone was to start like their own business in terms of like creating either a food product or building up a personal training business, what do you think would be a good way for them to, I guess, market themselves to be able to get a good following like you have?
I think, like we sort of spoke about earlier, just like being a walking advert for what you essentially, the target market that you want to be. So for me, like, it's really organic. Like, I post the pictures because I just love posting the pictures. Like, I love showing people what creations I can make. I love getting creative. So, it's not like I essentially think, oh, if I post this picture of mad pancakes, I'm going to get like X amount of followers. It's just literally like, I just managed to make this masterpiece that tasted absolutely unreal. I'm going to post it on Instagram. So probably what I found is that a lot of people that do follow me, they're like genuine followers. They actually like seeing my posts, which I think is really important, rather than just kind of having people that just follow you for the sake of it. I think if you find a good like following, they'll just keep following you and supporting you all the way through, which is really important. So you can put that into any business perspective, just getting like really organic followings and stuff, and creating relationships and building rapport, and just getting that basis from there.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think it's all about that, I guess, authenticity in terms of what you're passionate about, what you actually enjoy. So I guess you loving pancakes is attracting other people that also like the same kind of thing, and then they're just like, oh yeah, he does this, so he starts following you, and then it's just like a snowball effect and keeps growing from there. In terms of like, I guess, limitations, what are some of the things that you've had to like overcome in starting like a food-based company?
So there's a lot of like hoops and stuff you have to jump through. I mean, I've got like, hundreds of people that want these products like right now. And I wish that I just had literally boxes of brownies and blondies and I could just ship them out today. I really wish that, or I wish I could just make them up in my kitchen and send them out just to get them to you guys like ASAP. But, see, when you do have a product that's gluten-free, dairy-free, vegan, there has to be like vigorous tests that kind of go through in manufacturing processes just to make sure that they also they actually hit that criteria. So there's been obviously some challenges there, just not challenges, but it just takes time. That's the biggest challenge is just time, demand versus time. So that's essentially I think when you're quite new to a business, if you think something's going to take you maybe 4 weeks, it's probably going to take you more like 4 months. So just being realistic with your time, and just being in a good position. Like I'm pretty lucky with the job that I do right now. Like it's just it's like a really flexible job. It gives me a lot of time to focus on my own business as well. And it lets me earn enough money to kind of put into my business, but also have a life where I can develop other things apart from just working 9 to 5. Because I mean, when you do work at like 35, 40, 45 hour week, and then you've done training on top of that, you kind of get to Saturday and you're like, wow, where did my week go? And just literally living for the weekend. And then if you're trying to start a business just in maybe a day, 1 day a week, it's just it's so difficult. So I think just time is the number one. Just being in the right headspace as well. You need to obviously be in a good mental position to do it as well, which is important, because you're going to have to put so much energy, so much time, so much enthusiasm into it.
Yeah.
So I think that's important.
Yeah, totally agree. How important do you think it is, I guess, so you've got all of these people, I guess, who are basically wanting your product like instantly. How do you create such I guess, a thirst for your product when it's not that readily available yet? How do you create such brand awareness and, I guess, thirst is probably the best word I can use to be able to want that product?
It's a great question, and I'll be honest, like, it just snowballed. It just absolutely snowballed. Like, I always, like, everyone around me, everyone that knows me in the gym and you know, that competes and stuff, they all know me as Macr0 Mike. They all know me as the guy that makes pancakes, the guy that makes the food porn.
Yeah.
And even before this was even a business idea or anything, you know, X amount of people would just comment saying, look, you need to make a business out of this. You need to sell these. You need to market, etc., etc. And I'd always had the idea to do it, but it's obviously just implementing it. And then really, like, I just kind of just knocked together some samples and put together some products just to see if it worked, just to kind of test it. And I've not really even tried to like sell anything. And I've had people just wanting to bite my hands off just to buy things, which is crazy, you know.
Yeah.
I haven't once even like tried to sell a product. It's all just essentially people that are just wanting to get their hands on my goodies. So yeah, it's one of those. Like, I guess the first just comes from maybe just the products, just the fact that everybody wants to eat like really good food, you know, that's macro friendly, and a lot of the gluten-free and dairy-free. What I've found is that people on the social media, they'll probably see the products, and a lot of people are tagging their friends or family that are gluten-free, and they're like, oh, look, Cody, check these out. These are gluten-free. They'd be perfect for you.
Yeah.
It's just really awesome to see, you know. So I think that's kind of where it's sort of come from a little bit.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it's just from watching you basically grow with it. I think it's just a couple of factors. Like, it's number one, I guess, your work ethic. So you've basically been just trying to drive it and trying to build awareness around it. But then again, it's also a product that solves a problem that a lot of people have, which is basically like, it's the basis of any business. If you solve a problem that a lot of people have, which is having macro-friendly food, which is non-allergy, non-gluten, non-dairy, a lot of those people are like seriously looking for this product, and it solves the problem that they have because they want that macro-friendly food, they want that low-allergy food, and they actually want that, and you're providing that solution that they have so they can have all of those choices and still fit it into their macros, and then add to that, I guess. Any time that I've seen you, like, in passing, you've basically always been massively friendly and like just been like a positive networker where you just like continually making contacts and more contacts and more contacts, and then obviously just follow you on social media, and then you see exactly what you're about, and that's going to resonate more people. And if you actually, I guess, like someone, when you meet them in person, you're more likely to be able to recommend that to someone else. And then if you've got that I guess product that people are craving as well, it's just that combination of that, I guess, work ethic from you and the product that solves a problem. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. I think there is obviously a lot of products similar on the market, but nothing that is both macro, allergy friendly, gluten free, dairy free, and also tastes like just like the real thing, if not better.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, when you have something that is gluten free and dairy free, it's like, for example, if you eat like a raw cake, because it's made with a lot of, you know, coconut oils and things like that, it is really rich and really dense. So a lot of the a lot of the brownies and stuff out there, they're just kind of mass produced, and they're just made with like heavily processed ingredients.
Yeah.
Whereas what you'll find is with the Macr0 Mike range, that they're all really good ingredients. You know, we use a lot of superfoods in there, a lot of chia seeds, things like that are really dense, really, really good nutrient-based stuff. And yeah, I mean, in terms of me being a positive person and a networker. I think it's just because I have so much love for food and so much love for what I do that I find it so easy to be passionate about it, and people can see that it comes across in all on my Instagram and on the Facebook page. I just love it. Like I just can't get enough of it. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've had obviously got a bit of a following in the podcast that I run, so I've had opportunities to basically work with other people who are doing like protein balls and stuff like that in the past, and it's, I guess, the biggest difference between you and other people that I've spoken to in similar markets is that passion, and I guess that focus on, I guess, creating the best product possible and going through all the hoops that you need to do to basically get the best product possible and go through and prove that it is gluten-free, that it is dairy-free, because it's very easy. Like, it could be easy for you to basically just cook up or like mix up like 2 boxes of stuff just to be able to get it out there and stuff, but you're going through all the processes because you have that, I guess, integrity behind what you're actually doing, and you have that passion to be able to share it with other people. So it's really good to see that you're actually going through that, and I definitely know that you're going to be massively successful with it. I guess, where do you kind of see Macro Mike heading in the future? So podcast is called Chasing Gains. What are the gains with Macro Mike that you're working towards?
It's good that you say that, because I could kind of cut corners and rush things and just get things out there like real quick, and even just using like cheaper and poorer quality ingredients just to get the products out there and just to try and make this like make as much money as possible.
Yeah.
Whereas like that, the goal for this, obviously any business wants to be profitable. It would be stupid to say that it wouldn't be.
Yeah.
But the goal for this product is not to make ridiculous amounts of money. It's to get this product that's a good quality product to literally change people's lives. Like, that's essentially what I want to do. I want to literally have anybody that's ever had restrictions, like not being able to eat gluten, not being able to eat dairy, or anybody that's been comp prepping that's been eating chicken and rice for like the last 20 weeks. Like,
yeah.
I just want to change. Like, I think it's right product, right time. Like, everybody's getting into if it fits your macros. Everyone's kind of understanding more about flexible dieting. And, I was eating pancakes, waffles, pizza, like everything. I was eating brownies, blondies, all the way up until on stage day. Like, I literally had them in my bag when I competed. And, obviously, you can eat like that. You can eat with flexible diet if it fits your macros. I mean, you're like the number one example of that. You're smashing grilled and Nando's on comp day, which is awesome. Like, I told you how much respect and stuff I have for that. Is so good.
Yeah.
That you're not sat there eating basa and white rice and whatnot and broccoli.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good. So in terms of where I see Macro Mike going, I just want to get this product out to as many people as possible, and just give back to people that feel like they're maybe missing out on stuff. Like, I spent maybe 3 or 4 years when I was dealing with IBS and going through like a pretty stressful time and stuff, and I just restricted myself to like maybe 10 different food groups just because they were the safe foods that I had.
Yeah.
And I kind of like, I was trying to work out what was going on with my digestive system and all that kind of stuff. So I just want to be able to, if anyone feels like they're restricted and they can't eat good, nutritious food or, tasty food, or they're lacking maybe ideas for like treats late at night, or that I just want to get it out to as many people as possible. That's the goal behind Macro Mike's.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think your, I guess it's your mission statement kind of highlights that perfectly. What is that?
So it's don't just count the macros, make the macros count. So obviously, essentially, you can count your macros all day long, but me as a competitor, even when my macros reduced over my 24-week prep I did recently for my competitions, I was really, by the end of it, I was really making every single one of those macros count. So my whole day would literally be planned around what I was going to eat and how I can maximize those macros. So that's kind of where the mission statement came from. So that's essentially where it came from.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Like I find especially with contest prep, it's very easy for people to become extremely obsessive about their food choices, like not eating out, basically just being antisocial and having it being just this massive stress on your life where basically your comp prep is like your number one priority. Relationships go to shit, like work goes to shit, everything just goes down the drain because you have to eat your meals at certain times. It has to be perfectly down to the gram. Whereas when people who do like flexible dieting, like you can still do flexible dieting and have that mindset. However, I think it's massively important to still live your life and actually consume foods and have relationships and everything like that to be able to make sure that like people actually enjoy the process. So it shouldn't be a massive stress on people so that they don't want to do it. Like if you can prep every second year or something like that and it's not going to ruin your life, then it's going to be a good process and more people are going to want to do it rather than basically just going, all right, I'm going to smash it out, I'm going to go as hard as I can, I'm going to eat perfectly, I'm going to do whatever it takes, I'm going to do all the cardio, but then they can only do it every like 3 or 4 years because it's just completely fucks over their life for that time frame. So I think flexible dieting kind of has the potential to be able to solve that, but then having that mindset that you have as well with your food so that it's not like obsessive about it and you can still live your life and still get those results and still have the I guess the benefits of doing comp prep and everything that goes along with that. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. So many people do diet for a competition for so long and just restrict their food choices for so long and just eat certain foods, and then what happens is they then compete. They've spent their whole prep just focused on this literally this 5 minutes that they're going to spend on stage, and they might place, they might not place, they might they might be happy, they might be sad, and then you kind of almost just feel lost after. Like I remember that the first time I actually competed, like I had pretty much done the bro science prep where I just meal prepped, I just eat the bland, boring foods. This was before I really understood, the benefits of flexible dieting. I'd obviously heard if it fits your macros and stuff like that, but it's not something that I'd kind of done. And I just, after my competition, I just binged hard, like, because I just restricted myself so much that I just wanted to eat all this food. And that's what happens. So, I mean, if you can prep with flexible dieting to the point where you're eating brownies and blondies and grilled and pizza and whatever you want the whole time you prep, you're not going to binge at the end, and that means you can then maintain the physique that you've got, because there's a really bad relationship that then happens upstairs, because you go from being in the absolute best shape of your life to looking amazing. You've probably done a photo shoot, you've probably got all these pictures on Facebook, everyone's messaging you from people you've not spoken to for years. They're like, oh my God, you look so good. And then 3 months down the line, you're just looking at yourself and you're like, what's happened? You've ended up even in worse shape than before you started dieting, because you've ruined your metabolism, or you've just had like a really bad relationship with food. So I think that if it fits your macros and the flexible dieting is so important, not just for like sanity, but for your relationship with your body image as well, like, and post-comp depression and all sorts of things like that people don't realize is even a thing until they actually compete. Everyone just sees the lights and the cameras and the glitzy bikinis. They don't realize the aftermath that can essentially happen. Obviously competing is one of the best things you can ever do in your whole life. Don't let me put anyone off it, but you need to be in the right headspace and you need to be in the right positive state to come out of a comp as well, which is more important. Like I'd say that the reverse diet is 10 times as important as the comp diet, which is becoming more apparent now. There's some real good coaches out there that are obviously like preaching that, etc.
I totally agree. I find with like a lot of people who prep, the more restrictive they are in terms of food choices and the longer the period of dieting, the higher chance they have of binging and creating a bad relationship with food. So generally, like, yeah, I want to, as a coach, I want to start people as early as possible, but I want them to be as flexible as possible as well, all the way through the prep. So if I look at my most recent prep, it was the most flexible prep that I've ever done. So mentally, it meant that like it wasn't that much of a stress. I'd still fit in. I fit in, yeah. So 80 burgers in throughout the prep to be able to fit that in. Yeah.
Was that per day or what?
Yeah, almost. And then it just meant that like I'm like a week out from my show and I still weigh the same as what I did on stage. So it just means that like, hey, have I hit my macros perfectly over the last week? No, but like I've had increased calories, I've decreased my exercise output, and I still weigh the same. And I know a lot of people who put on 10 kilos in that same time frame because they've just gone, all right, cool, comp's done. I've been restricted for so long, I'm just going to smash everything in sight. And that's what like a lot of people don't think about. They're like, all right, yeah, cool, comp prep's awesome. I'm going to smash it out the entire prep. However, that period straight after that reverse diet is massively important as well. And people don't even think about that because they don't have that deadline. They don't have the mental focus to be able to just go, all right, yeah, well, that's enough of that food today. They're just like, all right, well, fuck it. Well, I am going to have the whole tray of brownies, even though they're macro friendly. Like, they just go into that mindset. And if you've been flexible like the entire time through, it just means that like the chances of you binging post comp are very, very low. Like you might do it like once, maybe twice. However, it's not going to be that kind of thing every single day. You're just like shoveling in food because you've been so restrictive. So having that mindset around, I guess, flexible dieting and comp prep is massively important. And then in terms of like for general population people as well, if they've got that mindset of I can be as flexible as possible, then they can have brownies, they can have all these blondies, and they can fit them in every single day, still get the results that they want, and then they don't have to use all of this extra stress around food because food is just another stressor if they add that into their work, relationships, everything else that's going on in their life. You want to make getting results or even just maintaining where you're at the lowest stress possible so that you can do it over a long period of time. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. And it has to be sustainable. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
It's not, your diet's not just for Christmas. Like, it's got to be something that you can do longer term. Otherwise, you can never outsmart your body. Your body's clever.
Yeah.
And if you cut calories, then your metabolism's just going to reset and it's going to, you can't outsmart your body. If you eat 2,000 calories a day for a year, your body's going to get used to eating 2,000 calories a day for a year. If you eat 5,000 calories a day for a year, your body's going to increase that metabolism. You can't outsmart it. Same the other way around. If you massively cut your calories, your metabolism's just going to slow down. Yeah. So, yeah, I think the most important message that we've tried to get across with Macr0 Mike, which is essentially what we put on the landing page of the website, which will be going pretty live this week, is that there's no such thing as a good diet and a bad diet.
Yeah. It's
just a diet that is essentially fits your goals and just works for you.
Yeah.
And it's essentially, that's in a nutshell, that is essentially what we're trying to say here with our products and stuff.
Yeah, totally agree. I think the best thing I heard someone say was if you can't see yourself doing that diet in 12 months or more, then it's not the diet for you because it's not able to be made consistent long term. And a lot of people I see will recommend things like just super low carb or keto, whatever it is. Hey, yeah, that's all well good to be able to get results quickly. However, if you're not going to be doing it in 12 months, then you're basically just looking for a short-term fix. You're not changing the habits that you need to. You're not addressing the relationship with food that you have. You're not taking all these factors into account, and it just means that, like, it's not a long-term fix. And then you've just gone into that yo-yo dieting cycle where people just basically, they do well to start, but then as soon as they go off it, they binge, they starve themselves to be able to get into that cycle. And I think that's just a massive issue with I guess the fitness industry and what people are recommending people do to be able to get results because it's all about that short-term fix. What's your opinion on that?
I agree massively, and I have the same philosophy. Like even down to my roommate who, he goes to the gym, but he's not the most healthiest of people. Like, and he'll just come to me like, and he'll say, "Hey Mike, what do you reckon? Just do no carbs for 2 weeks. Is that the best way? Am I going to drop fat? Like, should I take this supplement? Should I take that?" And I just say to him like, "Well, what happens in 2 weeks when you start eating carbs again?"
Yeah.
And he just kind of said, "Oh, yeah, I guess I'm just going to go back to the same." And I was like, "Well, yeah, exactly. So what's the point in just doing it for 2 weeks?" And he's like, "Well, won't I drop loads of fat?" And then I'm like, "Well, you might drop a little bit, but then what about when you start eating carbs again? What's going to happen?" And when you kind of say it to someone like that, when you like kind of explain the science a little bit,
yeah,
light bulb goes on, and they're like, "Yeah, I guess makes sense. I probably shouldn't do that. I should probably just eat a little bit healthier." And
yeah,
I'm like, yeah, exactly. So no, I agree. I think if you cannot sustain a diet longer term,
yeah,
just don't even bother. There's no point. Like I've done in the past. I've done carb backloading. I've done super low carb. I've done keto. I've done everything just to try them out. When I was a PT, I used to just try out diets, just to kind of give some advice to my clients and stuff like that. But I mean, if you take, for example, carb backloading, which I'm sure like works for some people, it's awesome. I know one of my friends back in the UK, he's a natural bodybuilder and he swears by it, and he essentially can sustain that for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
For me, like to not be able to eat carbs like on a daily basis with pretty much every meal is just like the thought of not being able to eat pancakes for breakfast is just like crazy. And with carb backloading, you can't eat carbs until after you've worked out or late at night.
Yeah.
And for me, like my happiest time of the day is eating a massive amount of carbs in the morning. It's just what I love doing, and then going and training and just being full of energy. So yeah, I agree with that completely.
Yeah. And I think the biggest thing is, I guess, with flexible dieting, like you can still do things like be lower carb at certain points and stuff, as long as you still hit your macros, and it's not a one size fits all thing. It's completely flexible to the person. And if we go back to talking about the importance of being able to do it for a long period of time, if you can consume foods that are good for your macros, like ones that you've created, then it just means that like long term, those people again, it's going to be a lot easier for them to maintain it if they have those food options available. And that's why people, I guess, are crying out for the offering that you're about to bring out, because like people want these foods because they understand the importance of hitting their macros. They're sold on it, and then now you've got a product to be able to fit into that, to be able to solve the next problem, which is them still having foods that they enjoy having, so that they can actually continually stick to the diet, but also get the results that I'm looking for. So it's massively like beneficial for you to be able to create that and get that out there as soon as possible as well. In terms of, I guess, where people can get in contact with you, where's the best place for people to be able to follow you on social media, and what's the website, when it's going to be launched, and when's that going to be launched?
So the landing page for the website, which will just be like a homepage saying website coming soon, with a sort of brief description of the mission statement behind Macr0 Mike, and just a little bit of a taster as to what's coming.
Yeah.
That's going live probably today or tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which is just going to be all the W's, and then macromike.com.au.
Yeah.
And then the
is
Instagram.
That zero or?
That's just with it. That's just macro as a word. So just Macr0 Mike.
Yeah.
Still trying to get in contact with the Instagram page Macr0 Mike without the zero.
Yeah.
See if he's wanting to sell his Instagram account.
Yeah.
100 followers. I'm sure he's been getting heaps of followers since I've launched this. But yeah, if you want to follow us on Instagram, it's at Macr0 Mike, but that's with a zero in the middle.
Yeah.
And then the Facebook page is Macr0 Mike's Food Porn.
Yeah.
Or again at Macr0 Mike with the zero in the middle. I think you can use the username now for Facebook as well. They're catching on with the Instagram and stuff.
Yeah.
Bit of a YouTube rookie, so I might get a YouTube page up and running just with some videos, with some time lapses of how to make the products pretty soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, for now, just the Instagram and the Facebook. We're doing a pre-order list, so We've already taken over 100 pre-orders.
Yep.
So if you do want to be one of the first to get your hands on either the brownies or the blondies, just shoot us either a direct message on the Instagram or a message on the Facebook page, or you can find me on Facebook, Kellet. And then, just shoot us a message and we can add your email address to the pre-order list. So when we do get these products out there, you will be the first to be able to get these shipped and baked, and you will just be blown away by how they taste, which is awesome.
Yeah. Can definitely attest to how good they taste. After my show, Mike was walking around and he gave me a sample of one of them, and they were absolutely fantastic. So thanks for that.
That's awesome. And you finally got that tan off your head?
Yeah, there's still a little bit here and there.
You couldn't tell what was tan and what was chocolate around your face, bro.
Yeah, because I don't eat very tidily, so it's always chocolate anyway. All right, thanks for coming on the show, Mike. I'll put all the links to your social media accounts in the description so people can go check you out. And be sure for everyone to get on that waiting list to be able to get your amazing products. So thanks again.
Cheers, Cody. Appreciate it, buddy.
Cheers. Thank you for listening to Chasing Gains Radio. Be sure to use the Chasing Gains Radio hashtag on all social media. If you have any questions, queries, or comments about the podcast, use this hashtag. Thanks again for listening to Chasing Gains Radio. Be sure to share and like this podcast to help spread the Chasing Gains movement.